The universe speaks through inner guidance, not with thunder or lightning, but through a whisper that begins deep within you. Have you ever felt a sudden pull, a quiet knowing you couldn't explain, yet it was always right? Joseph Murphy called that voice your inner guidance, the sacred way the universe speaks through your subconscious mind. Today, you'll discover how to hear it, how to trust it, and how to live in harmony with the infinite intelligence that has been guiding you all along. Stay with me, because the truth revealed at the end may change how you see every decision, every dream, every moment of your life. The universe speaks through inner guidance, not through voices in the sky or symbols in the clouds, but through the quiet pulse of your own subconscious mind. It whispers in moments when you least expect it, in the stillness between thoughts, in that sudden feeling that says, turn left instead of right, in the unshakable calm that rises just before a great decision. Have you ever felt that strange certainty, that inner knowing that seems to come from somewhere beyond reason? That is how the universe speaks, through the infinite intelligence within you. Joseph Murphy taught that this intelligence is not distant or unreachable. It is the life within your breath, the rhythm behind your heartbeat, the consciousness that dreams through you. He said, your subconscious mind is the seat of creation. It receives impressions from your conscious thoughts and brings them to life. When you realize this, the boundary between you and the universe begins to dissolve. You stop asking for signs outside of you and start recognizing the signs within. Long before words, before religions, before philosophies, human beings lived by listening. They navigated oceans by stars, trusted instinct to find food, shelter, love, and destiny. This inner compass was their first religion. You still have it. It was never lost, only buried beneath noise, logic, and fear. The world teaches you to value analysis, not awareness. But intuition is older than logic. It is the original language of the soul. Murphy wrote that the subconscious is not bound by time or distance. It is the part of you that already knows. Imagine for a moment your subconscious mind as a vast radio receiver, always tuned to the frequency of infinite intelligence. The universe broadcasts constantly, but most people live surrounded by static, the static of worry, doubt, and overthinking. When you quiet the static, the signal becomes clear. That is when the universe speaks, and when you remember that it never stopped. Every person who awakens to this truth feels a calling. It begins as curiosity. Is there more to life than what I see? Then it becomes a longing. What if there's a wisdom guiding me? If only I could hear it. The answer is yes. The guidance is real. The universe is not random. It is responsive. It mirrors your beliefs, your emotions, your expectations. It arranges the outer world according to the inner pattern you hold. Murphy called this the law of mind. He said that your subconscious mind takes the impressions you give it and projects them into form. So when you begin to expect guidance, you receive it. When you trust that life is speaking to you, it starts to speak louder. But first, you must learn the art of listening. To listen not just with your ears, but with your awareness. To recognize the difference between the voice of fear and the whisper of truth. Fear speaks fast and loud. Truth speaks slow and calm. Fear demands, truth invites. When you hear that quiet invitation, follow it. That is the universe calling you back to yourself. The first practice, awareness. Right now, take a breath. Feel the air into your lungs, the heart beating behind your ribs. That rhythm, steady, patient, eternal, is the same rhythm that moves galaxies. You and the stars are powered by the same intelligence. When you pause to notice this, you've already begun the practice of awareness. Awareness opens the channel between the conscious and subconscious mind. It is the moment the surface of the lake becomes still enough to reflect the sky. Murphy often said, "Be still and know that I am God." In that stillness, you begin to sense the divine presence not as something external, but as your own essence whispering guidance from within. Every great idea, every invention, every act of love, every inspired step in history came from someone who listened, who trusted the unseen nudge, the quiet certainty that said, "This is the way." And the same force that guided them is guiding you now. Your inner compass awakens. Imagine walking through life with this awareness, knowing that every coincidence, every meeting, every delay has meaning. Imagine living from peace, not panic, from purpose, not pressure. That is what happens when you begin to trust your inner guidance. You become a partner with the universe. Instead of fighting against life, you move with it. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you ask, "What is this trying to show me?" And the universe always answers. Sometimes the answer comes as intuition, sometimes as an unexpected event, sometimes as a silence that teaches patience. But the answer always comes, because the law of mind never fails. Joseph Murphy believed that when you align your conscious and subconscious mind with faith, you activate a power that can transform any condition. It can heal the body, attract the right people, open doors that logic could never open. This power is not separate from you. It is you when you live guided by the infinite. And so this is the beginning. The moment you stop searching outside and begin listening inside, because that gentle whisper in your heart, that peace that rises for no reason, is the universe speaking through your inner guidance. There is a secret pattern in the way the universe communicates, a language of signs, sensations, and synchronicities. In the next chapter, we'll learn how to decode those whispers and distinguish true guidance from the echoes of fear. The universe speaks through inner guidance, and once you begin to listen, you realize it speaks in a language older than words. It speaks through feeling, through symbols, through timing. The key is not to make it speak louder, but to quiet yourself enough to hear. Joseph Murphy said, "Your subconscious mind is the silent listener within you. It hears the whispers of the infinite and translates them into thoughts, emotions, and experiences. That is why you sometimes just know something without evidence, without logic, without explanation. It is your subconscious mind translating the voice of the universe into a language your heart can understand." The language of feeling. Before thought, there is feeling. Before prayer becomes words, it begins as emotion. Feeling is the universe's first and purest form of communication. When something is aligned with your path, it brings a sense of peace, expansion, and warmth. When something is not meant for you, it carries tension, unease, or heaviness. Murphy often said, "Your feelings are the voice of your subconscious mind. They are not random. They are precise signals from infinite intelligence." Peace means proceed. Tension means pause. Listen to that wisdom, because every time you ignore it, you teach your subconscious that its voice is unimportant. And every time you honor it, that voice grows clearer, stronger, more consistent. The universe never argues. It simply repeats the signal until you are ready to hear. You may notice that when you finally surrender to a peaceful decision, life unfolds effortlessly. The right person calls, the door opens, the next step appears. That is the universe confirming you are in harmony with the law.
The whisper in dreams. When your conscious mind rests, the subconscious becomes the night watchman. It works continuously, interpreting, guiding, revealing. Murphy wrote that dreams are the language of the subconscious mind. And since your subconscious is the medium through which infinite intelligence speaks, your dreams are the messages of the universe, translated into symbols. Think of a dream as a letter from the infinite, written in imagery. A locked door may mean resistance. A sunrise may signify new understanding. Water often represents emotion, and flight, the longing for freedom. These are not arbitrary symbols. They are mirrors of your inner state. When you start recording your dreams upon waking, you begin decoding the conversation between your conscious and subconscious minds. A woman once told Murphy that she had recurring dreams of climbing endless stairs. Each time she felt exhausted before reaching the top. He explained that her subconscious was showing her a belief that success was struggle. When she began affirming ease and divine order, the dream changed. She finally reached the top, and soon after, success arrived effortlessly in her life. Dreams reveal what we truly believe, not what we claim to believe. And once you interpret them with love, they become the clearest form of divine guidance.
The signs in synchronicity. But the universe also speaks through the world around you. When your inner and outer worlds align, reality becomes a mirror. A book falls open to the exact sentence you needed. A stranger says something that answers the question you never asked aloud. You think of a friend and they call. You see repeating numbers or patterns that seem too specific to be random. Murphy called this the law of correspondence. As within, so without. Every outer event reflects an inner state. If you feel lost, the world seems chaotic. When you find peace, the world around you calms as well. Synchronicity is not coincidence. It is confirmation. The universe is showing you, I am listening. Your thoughts, your emotions, your expectations, they are signals you send out into the field of creation, and the world responds with precision. Murphy compared it to tuning a radio. When your inner frequency matches the station of infinite intelligence, you receive clear guidance. When you are out of tune, anxious, doubtful, fearful, you hear only static. The law is always working. Your task is simply to tune in. Recognizing true guidance. Many people ask, how do I know if it's my intuition or my fear? The answer lies in the feeling behind it. Fear speaks with urgency. You must decide now or everything will fall apart. Intuition speaks with quiet certainty. You can take your time. This is right. Fear produces tension. Intuition brings peace. Joseph Murphy wrote that true inner guidance always carries the quality of harmony. It may ask you to step into the unknown, but it will never bring anxiety or confusion. The voice of the divine is calm, assured, loving. When in doubt, wait. If the impulse is divine, it will persist gently. If it fades with time, it was not meant for you. Truth endures. Illusion demands attention. Murphy reminded his readers, the subconscious mind responds to calm conviction, not emotional agitation. So the next time you feel lost, stop searching for answers in noise. Find the quiet. Feel for peace. The answer is already within the stillness. The universe's gentle patience. Sometimes the universe guides you not by giving, but by withholding. A door closes, a plan falls through, and you feel abandoned. But Murphy said, delay is not denial. The infinite mind may close one door only to lead you toward something greater. Every no is a redirection toward the higher yes. The universe speaks not only through what happens, but also through what does not happen. The silence after prayer is guidance too. It is the space where your faith matures. If you can wait with peace, the next step always appears at the perfect moment. A living dialogue. Once you begin to notice these signs, feelings, dreams, synchronicities, silence, life transforms into a living dialogue between you and the infinite. Every event becomes meaningful. Every encounter, a message. Every moment, an answer to a question your soul is asking. You realize that the universe has been speaking through your inner guidance since the day you were born. You were never separate, never forgotten, never alone. The conversation never ends. It only deepens. You now know the language of the universe. But how can you strengthen this connection? In the next chapter, we'll step into the practice, learning the daily tools to align your conscious and subconscious mind and invite divine guidance to flow through you like a river of light. The universe speaks through inner guidance, but to receive its messages clearly, you must learn to quiet the noise within. Joseph Murphy wrote, "Your subconscious mind accepts the dominant thought impressed upon it. If your dominant thoughts are fear, confusion, or doubt, your guidance becomes clouded. But when your thoughts are peace, gratitude, and faith, your inner channel becomes crystal clear." The following practices are not rituals. They are ways of remembering, ways to realign the conscious and subconscious mind so that the infinite intelligence of the universe can move through you effortlessly. 1. The stillness, the sacred pause. Imagine the mind as a lake. When agitated, the water distorts every reflection. But when it becomes still, it mirrors the sky perfectly. Your stillness is that mirror. It reflects divine wisdom. Each morning before the world awakens, sit in silence, even for 5 minutes. Close your eyes, let the breath slow, and whisper to yourself, "Infinite intelligence within me, speak through peace. I am open, I am listening." Do not expect words. The universe rarely speaks in language. It speaks in knowing. You will feel the answer before you understand it. The stillness is the conversation. Murphy said that stillness is the doorway through which intuition enters. In silence, the subconscious mind becomes the perfect receiver of divine ideas. What was once noise becomes music. What was once confusion becomes clarity. 2. Journaling, the mirror of the mind. The next tool is journaling, not as routine, but as dialogue. When you write, you give the invisible a voice. You invite the subconscious mind to speak through your hand. Keep a small notebook or digital journal beside you. Each morning or before sleep, ask, "What is the universe showing me today?" Then write, without judging or editing. Let thoughts flow, even if they make no sense. Over time, patterns appear. You'll see themes in your dreams, coincidences, recurring feelings. These are not random. They are threads woven by your inner guidance. Murphy often said, the subconscious mind records everything. When you write, you bring those records into light. You make the unseen visible, and the more you acknowledge your guidance, the more it speaks. Writing transforms whispers into wisdom. 3. Affirmations, the seeds of belief. Words are the commands of creation. Every affirmation is a seed planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. Murphy called them statements of truth. He taught that when you repeat words with feeling, you impress their reality upon your subconscious, and the universe responds accordingly. Affirmations are not mere repetition, they are conviction. You must speak as though the truth were already living in you. Each day declare, I am divinely guided in all I do. Infinite intelligence reveals my perfect path. The universe speaks through me, clearly and lovingly. My subconscious mind aligns with the rhythm of peace. Speak these slowly, with emotion. Feel them as real. The feeling is the bridge between mind and manifestation. As Murphy wrote, the subconscious does not reason, it feels. So when you feel what you affirm, you activate divine law. Your inner world begins to rearrange itself, and the outer world follows, like a faithful shadow. 4. Visualization, seeing the unseen. Your imagination is the workshop of creation. Every image held in the mind is a blueprint impressed upon the universe. Murphy said, imagine the end and assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. When you visualize, you are not pretending. You are participating in the creative process of the subconscious mind. Close your eyes now. Imagine yourself walking through a day guided by peace. Every decision feels effortless. The right people appear at the right time. You smile because you know the universe is guiding you perfectly. Feel the ease. See the light surrounding you. Breathe it in. Hold that feeling for just a moment longer. And when you open your eyes, remember, that image has already been impressed upon the field of infinite intelligence. You have placed your order with the universe. The law will fulfill it. To truly awaken this connection, consistency matters more than effort. Murphy taught that belief grows through repetition and faith. Each day, your inner signal will grow stronger. Each day, the universe will feel closer, more intimate, more alive. Join the 21-day challenge to create your dream life, a journey inspired by Goddard and Murphy's methods, linked below. Not to learn something new, but to remember what you already know, that the universe is not outside you, it moves through you. This is how you awaken the conscious partnership between the universe and your subconscious mind. No longer separate, no longer struggling. You become an open channel of divine intuition, a living instrument of infinite intelligence. At first, you will practice these steps intentionally, but soon they will become your natural way of living. Stillness will follow you into every conversation. Journaling will become the way your heart speaks. Affirmations will shape your inner dialogue, and visualization will be your second sight. You will begin to notice that you no longer seek guidance, you embody it. The distinction between asking and receiving dissolves because your entire being becomes the answer. This is what Murphy meant when he said, you are the architect of your destiny. Not by force, but by alignment. Not by control, but by surrender. When your mind, your heart, and your faith vibrate in harmony, the universe can do nothing but respond. You've learned to listen, and you've begun to align. Now it's time to see what happens when faith turns into evidence, when the unseen guidance becomes visible in your world. In the next chapter, we'll explore the real-life manifestations of divine intuition and how miracles unfold through the law of the subconscious mind. Once you begin to trust your inner guidance, the invisible becomes visible.
Life starts to unfold with quiet precision. You see that nothing is random, that every event carries a message, and every message leads you closer to divine order. Joseph Murphy wrote, "There are no coincidences in a universe governed by law. Every thought you impress upon your subconscious mind becomes a seed planted in the soil of creation. The results that appear in your life are not miracles. They are the natural outcome of harmony between your mind and infinite intelligence." Let's walk through a few stories that reveal how the universe speaks in everyday life. The teacher's intuition. There was a woman, a teacher, who faced the loss of her job. She was afraid. Her income, her identity, her security all seemed to crumble. But that night, instead of giving in to worry, she remembered Murphy's words. The universe responds to the belief you impress upon your subconscious. So she prayed, not with desperation, but with faith. She said, "Infinite intelligence, reveal to me the perfect path." Then she slept peacefully, believing that the answer was already given. At dawn, she woke with an unusual thought: call Margaret. It made no logical sense. They hadn't spoken in years, but she followed the nudge. Margaret answered with surprise and joy. "I was just thinking of you," she said. Within the hour, she mentioned a new opening at a nearby school, a position that suited the teacher perfectly. She applied and was accepted that same week. A higher salary, better environment, and exactly what she had asked for. Coincidence? No. That was the universe speaking through inner guidance. Her subconscious mind heard the infinite, translated it into impulse, and when she trusted it, the path appeared. The voice that saved a life. Another story, one Joseph Murphy often cited, was about a man driving late at night. He was tired, his thoughts drifting, when suddenly a voice within him whispered, "Stop here." It was not loud, not dramatic, just a feeling, a knowing. He hesitated, then obeyed, pulling his car to the side of the road. Moments later, as he rested his eyes, a truck lost control and sped across the lane ahead, exactly where he would have been driving. He sat in silence, trembling, not from fear, but awe. That was no coincidence. That was the protective law of divine guidance, the subconscious mind acting as guardian, translating the wisdom of the universe into a moment of life-saving intuition. Murphy wrote that when you live in harmony with infinite intelligence, you awaken the inner radar that directs, protects, and perfects your every step. You don't have to analyze it, you just have to trust it. The artist who listened. Then there was a young artist, talented, passionate, but struggling. He prayed daily for success, for recognition, for a breakthrough, but nothing changed. One evening, frustrated and near surrender, he sat quietly and whispered, "Show me what I'm not seeing." In the stillness, an image came to him, a simple painting of hands holding light. It didn't fit his usual style, but the feeling was undeniable. He followed the impulse. He painted through the night, lost in flow. The next day, he posted it online. Within hours, it went viral. That one painting became the emblem of a major spiritual campaign, and his career flourished. Murphy explained this phenomenon simply. The subconscious mind accepts the idea impressed upon it by faith and expresses it through right action. The artist's faith opened the channel. His subconscious translated it into creativity. The universe handled the rest. When guidance feels uncomfortable. Yet, not all divine direction feels easy. Sometimes guidance asks you to step where logic would never lead. Sometimes it breaks comfort so that purpose can be born. Murphy warned that the ego resists what the soul requires. The universe will nudge you toward growth, not comfort. It may close a door to open the one you truly need.
If a relationship ends, if a plan dissolves, if the path grows uncertain, ask not, why is this happening, but what greater good is this preparing me for? Even in silence, guidance is working. Even in loss, infinite intelligence is rearranging life for your benefit. Every detour hides a direction. Every ending conceals a beginning. Trust that the subconscious mind, when aligned with peace, always leads you to your highest good. The ripple of alignment. When one person begins to live by inner guidance, their life becomes a light that touches others. Think of the calm person in chaos. Their energy steadies the whole room. That is the vibration of alignment. Murphy said, "When your mind is at peace, you radiate peace. This radiance spreads invisibly. Your inner harmony becomes a silent blessing to everyone you meet. You no longer have to convince others of truth. You embody it. As you follow your guidance, you become a conduit for the universe to bless the world. Through you, divine order flows outward. Your intuition becomes service. Your peace becomes influence. Your faith becomes medicine for the minds of others. The ripple expands without your awareness. Because when the universe speaks through you, you become not the seeker, but the signal itself." Faith made visible faith, Murphy said, is the ability to see the invisible, believe the impossible, and receive the inevitable. When you live in faith, your subconscious mind becomes magnetic. It attracts people, resources, and opportunities that match your belief. You may call it luck, but it is law. You may call it coincidence, but it is correspondence. Every outer event is a mirror of your inner state. The more you trust the divine within, the more the divine appears without. And then, one day, you look around and realize everything you once prayed for is now your daily reality. Not because the universe suddenly decided to bless you, but because you finally decided to listen. You've seen how guidance becomes reality, how thought turns into form. But there is a higher state still, a level where you no longer seek signs because your very life is the sign. In the final chapter, we'll reach that summit, the mastery of inner guidance, where you live as the conscious expression of infinite intelligence itself. There comes a moment on every spiritual path when the seeker realizes the search itself was the final veil. The universe was never hiding. It was always whispering through your inner guidance, waiting for you to listen not as a student, but as the very voice of truth itself. Joseph Murphy called this realization union with the infinite mind. He wrote, "You are not a beggar at the door of the universe. You are the universe in expression." And when you know this, when you live from this awareness, your life becomes prayer in motion. The union of mind and spirit. Picture a single wave upon the ocean. It rises, dances, and falls back into the sea. The wave is never separate from the water. It is the ocean expressing itself as motion. So are you. Your subconscious mind is the ocean, vast, timeless, connected to all that is. Your conscious mind is the crest of the wave, unique, visible, momentary. When these two unite in harmony, you awaken as the ocean itself, aware of its own rhythm. This is mastery, to know that the same infinite intelligence that guides the planets also moves through your heartbeat. You are not guided by the universe, you are guided as the universe, remembering itself through you. From this state, life ceases to be a struggle of decisions. You don't wonder what to choose, you simply know. The knowing arises like breath, effortless, unforced. It is the divine intuition of the subconscious mind, now unobstructed, flowing freely. The radiance of the awakened. Have you ever met someone who carries peace wherever they go? They do not speak of enlightenment, they embody it. Their eyes are calm,
their presence healing, their timing perfect. That is the signature of alignment with the infinite. Murphy wrote, "When your mind is at peace with God, your whole world mirrors that peace." Such people have mastered the art of allowing. They no longer resist life's movement, they cooperate with it. To them, obstacles are merely choreography, steps designed by the universe to refine grace. This is not passive acceptance, it is active harmony. They act, but their action flows from inspiration, not pressure. They speak, but their words come from wisdom, not ego. They succeed, yet they remain humble, knowing that all power flows through, not from them. You too can live this way. Every time you choose peace over panic, faith over fear, you step deeper into mastery. Every time you pause before reacting, you let the subconscious mind reveal a higher solution. And every time you affirm divine order, the universe rearranges itself to match that vibration. The silence beyond questions. As consciousness matures, it no longer hungers for constant answers. It finds nourishment in silence, for in silence, all answers exist simultaneously. Murphy said, "Prayer is not asking, it is knowing." When you enter the sacred quiet, you realize that there was never anything to ask for, only truth to remember. In that awareness, fear dissolves. The mind stops pleading and begins praising. You feel a love without object, a love that simply is. That love is the universe recognizing itself within you. From this silence, intuition flows, not as occasional flashes, but as a steady stream. Every step feels guided, every encounter purposeful. Even waiting becomes worship, because you sense the perfection unfolding behind every delay. The art of creative living. At this level, your imagination becomes sacred. Murphy taught that imagination is the divine instrument through which the subconscious mind creates form. When you imagine with faith, you are shaping reality itself. Now, imagination is no longer wishful dreaming. It is deliberate communion. You imagine peace, and you feel peace radiate. You imagine abundance, and the universe multiplies opportunities around you. You imagine healing, and the body, obedient to belief, renews itself. This is not magic, it is law. The same law that turns seed into tree, thought into world. When you live from inner guidance, you become a conscious gardener of that law. You plant with love and harvest with grace. The infinite conversation. Eventually, you notice that everything speaks. The morning breeze feels like affirmation. The face of a stranger carries a message. Even silence feels alive, humming with presence. This is the universe in continuous dialogue with you. There is no separation left, no me and it, only we, the living current of infinite intelligence, experiencing itself as thought, feeling, motion, and miracle. Murphy called this state the God consciousness. It is not arrogance, it is awareness. You do not proclaim, "I am God," but rather, "God is through me." You become the bridge where heaven and earth exchange breath. The eternal practice. Though mastery feels complete, it is never final. Each day is a new conversation with creation. You awaken, breathe, listen, and follow. This is the rhythm of a guided life. Simple, beautiful, endlessly renewing. Continue the practices: stillness, journaling, affirmation, visualization. But now, do them not to find connection, but to celebrate it. They are not tools anymore. They are expressions of gratitude. And as you live this way, you become what Murphy envisioned, a person through whom infinite intelligence moves without resistance, a clear channel of love, wisdom, and creation. Listen closely. The universe is speaking, not around you, not above you, but
as you. Every heartbeat, every breath, every act of kindness is its voice made visible. You are not the echo of divine power, you are its instrument. When you follow your inner guidance, you are following the rhythm of creation itself. When you trust your subconscious mind, you are trusting the wisdom that formed galaxies. When you surrender to infinite intelligence, you finally become what you have always been, a living expression of God's own imagination. So, walk gently, speak kindly, think beautifully. For every thought you think, the universe hears. Every feeling you send forth, the universe magnifies. And every act of faith you perform becomes a blessing echoing through eternity. If this message awakens something within you, stay connected to this journey. Become a channel member to receive early access to new Joseph Murphy narrations, guided meditations, and cinematic explorations of the subconscious mind. And as you close your eyes tonight, remember these words. The universe speaks through your inner guidance, and your life is its ongoing reply. Live as the answer, and the cosmos will echo your song.